Hello and welcome to the Flexline Media Front 9 final round coverage of the 25th The Helicopter Line Queenstown Classic. My name is Chris and I'm joined today by Philip Botha. Thanks for joining me, Phil.
I'm glad to be here and I look forward to seeing how this pans out.
This is also the New Zealand South Island Championships. It's the 11th event on the New Zealand Tour. Our coverage is sponsored by Smith's Craft Beer House, and we have additional sponsorship thanks to Queenstown Disc Golf Club, NZDSS and Small Planet Disc Sports. Well, Phil, what a crazy weekend this one was.
And you can say that again. You can definitely expect to see a lot of discs flying unpredictably today.
Yeah, we had very rough weather all throughout the weekend. This morning's round was actually horrendous. I stayed in bed for most of it, but got out after lunchtime. It cleared up a bit, and we should see some fairly reasonable weather. Here we have our final round lead card. Awhitu currently in first place with 38 down.
Man, Mikey Yu placed second, 7 strokes behind. Really need to make some moves here.
We also see Paul Child in third position, tied with Mikey in third in 2019. And we have you, Phil, in fourth position.
Man, only 2 strokes behind third place. This is definitely quite the jump.
And yeah, you jumped from 48th position overall last year, so it's great to see you on the lead card.
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
Hole 1, par 3, 45 metres. Nice and easy to start us off here. This one's called Crapshoot because the Portaloos are right in front of you. Got the Mando tree on the left to stay to the right of, and some OB long in the garden bed and the path. So you really have to watch your speed control so you don't go too long of the basket. But for most players here, it'll be a nice simple hyzer or a lefty turnover, which is what we're probably going to see here from Hemi.
Man, being a left-hand player, this is probably one of his go-to shots in the bag right now. Just really easy going for him. Just parks it.
Yep, that is a perfect start for his final round here.
So Mikey here, obviously being a right-hand player, you're just playing a shot straight up the middle, having to try and finish left, just settle down.
Plays it very nicely, just staying on the grass there. Do need to be careful. I did see quite a few hyzer angles skipping off the bark chips, so do really need to be careful there.
Again, just emphasizing that speed control. If you go in too fast, hitting that hyzer angle, there's a very good chance you're skipping out of bounds here by the road.
Yeah, definitely. Paul taking his time with this wet tee pad. I think it got a little bit slippery.
Yep, so throwing his pig here, really trying to get to finish left.
And just, skipping off that bark chips and ending up in the garden bed long. Unfortunate there.
And really showing just how close that garden bed is for an out-of-bounds hole.
Yep, definitely. And yourself?
On myself, yeah, just throwing the rat. I say, just trying to keep it nice and easy. Keep that speed control good.
And, pushing that length,
Man.
but fortunately finding the deepest part of the green, just inside the OB there.
Bit of an ace run. I say, on myself here, edge of the circle, trying to save my birdie.
Yeah, excellent bid there.
Just sneaking over the rim there.
Yeah.
So, bit nervous, I say, with that first pass.
Yeah, and here's Paul from the OB. Didn't quite give it what it needed. Drawing medal, but unfortunately...
Hemi there just tapping out his birdie.
Yeah.
Mikey Yu, 15 feet out.
Easy as. Makes the birdie. Great start. And Paul, unfortunate start with the bogey. You would presume gets that one there. There we go. First hole done. Hole 2, par 3, 55 metres. This one was actually the original hole 1 of the Gardens course, but that's been since moved. The main obstruction is the bamboo in the centre, but most players will have an easy hyzer left or right of that.
So one thing that might not be so obvious, Chris, is there is the sloping green, so you got to be careful with those forehand shots, not to skip all the way down the hill. The OB is probably about 30 metres down, but something to be aware of for sure.
Definitely, you don't want to get a roll away down the hill. And a bit of a dodgy tee pad here, so see how the players deal with that. Hemi with the left-hand route. I'm sure he's played this hundreds of times, no problems.
Not the best skip, but definitely in his range there.
Yeah, with the wet grass, it was a bit grabby.
So Mikey Yu going to the forehand. He is one of the better forehand players on tour, so for these shorter holes, we'll definitely see him leaning more towards it.
Bit low and gets a very awkward skip right into the bamboo.
Man, you do got to be careful going to that bamboo there. Any shots coming in too wide or too close can leave you with a really pinched off approach shot.
Yeah. One of my favourite things to do is watch the tourists play disc golf and try and throw it straight through the middle. Pretty optimistic.
Always entertaining to see. I myself just throwing the peg along the right gap, really just trying to skip it up towards the basket, avoiding the sloping green.
We have Paul, great hyzer angle. This is tracking beautifully to the basket, and that's a park job.
Mate, just perfect. Again, throwing that R-Pro peg, just having it swing back.
And we see Mikey, he's got a bit of a straddle out.
I believe this is the Sonic in his hand, just trying to lay it up nice and close, not trying to be too aggressive here early in the round.
He does have a clear look, which is very fortunate, because any deeper and he'll be very obstructed. Yep, easy as that.
Well played. Myself here, probably about 20 feet out.
It's another birdie.
Cashing it in. Again, these first 2 holes are relatively easy, so you do want to be getting these early birdies.
And Hemi matching you with the birdie. Mikey cleaning up his par. And Paul with the drop-in birdie. Excellent work.
Sure, he's happy to get that birdie on the second hole. Again, hole 1, relatively easy hole. The bogey probably wasn't the most fortunate to start.
Definitely. Hole 3, playing from the lower tee pad, not on the rock today, probably a safety measure with the rain. Fairly easy, especially with the lower tee pad, just straight in front of you. Just got to watch that the green angle, really.
Yeah, again, I say any forehands, you've got to be very careful because that's sloping hill.
Hemi's not super happy with that one. Didn't quite get the turnover that he wanted.
Bit earlier release, again, obviously for the left-hand players wanting to get that turnover shot. So I myself, just trying to play this straight, nice and easy, skipping forward.
A bit of an amp bounce there.
Bit of a shank.
Hyzering in beautifully behind the tree.
Bit wide right, but I think that'll be close enough for me.
Paul with the long run up, opting for the forehand. While we watch his drive, thank you very much to Smiths for sponsoring this coverage. Mikey giving it some good height, beautiful straight shot. That's lovely.
That's parked. I think he'll be able to tap that one in.
Hemi with a slightly uphill putt. Probably about just inside circle. No problems. Starts his fun around with the turkey.
And this is something you can expect to see from Hemi. I say having won the competition last year, really a solid player all round.
And also coming off a win from Wanaka as well. So in very good form at the moment.
I myself just taking my time, really trying to get these birdies.
Matching Hemi. Excellent work.
I think Paul here leaning to more of a straddle putt. Really trying to maintain his balance.
Yeah, very tricky on the sloping green. And wobbles it in. Not a super confident putt, but it draws chains and falls in the basket.
Hey man, as long as it sticks, I'm sure you'll be happy with it.
And Mikey also getting the easy birdie, and that is a star frame.
And only 3 holes in, not a bad start.
Hole 4, par 3, 55 metres. Man, these first holes are pretty nice to you guys. Straight in front of you, not much that can go wrong. Just park it under the basket and you'll be laughing.
Again, make sure you give those discs some height, as you've got to be careful of the sloping green.
Hemi's giving it a bit of height, but just Anheuser's is slightly back towards the hill, which is pretty good. Don't want to end up fading too far down.
And myself here, emphasizing a bit too much on height, catching those high trees.
Falling short.
Putting myself pretty circle 2.
Yep, but yeah, open look, so not too bad.
Paul Chart, I believe, leaning to his peg again.
Getting greeted by the sound of the Ernst law, but also he's got a dog.
Watch out for the dog.
Yeah.
So fortunate enough not to have that dog pick up that disc, because that would have been a very interesting call there.
It gets a bit of movement. There is a risk here, obviously, with the park still being open to the public for some interference to occur.
Again, another picturesque shot.
Yeah.
Just having it skip off the fairway.
Thanks to Deep Creek for sponsoring our replays here. Excellent shot, but the added bonus of the dog causing some controversy. Coming back, and I reckon that gave him an extra 2 inches closer to the basket.
Man, I'm wondering if that dog was even paid. I mean, that any couple of feet will make a difference here.
Yeah, Paul getting fortunate. And Mikey, ooh, just a little bit wide to the left, but
Getting a good skip there.
yeah, no problems there.
Okay, I myself, I think about 12 meters out. So just trying to be a bit aggressive here.
Ooh, just coming off left of the basket.
Easy tap out for Hemi. That's 4 birdies through 4 holes.
Yeah, it is a bit scary when you're looking downhill though. You don't want to miss because you can go very far long.
And it's very hit or miss. I say you're either going for it or you're laying this up.
100%.
Any strokes taken early in the round, you're definitely going to try and avoid.
Well, our lead card here, making easy work of these first 4 holes. Only real mistake with Paul on the first hole, but really quality golf. Massive thanks to the Helicopter Line for sponsoring this event. They've been sponsoring it for many years now, and it's great to see the support that they have for the game.
Yeah, hole 5, 70 meters, fairly straight shot. Again, avoiding that Mando tree, about within circles reach of the basket there. Again, can't emphasize just how sloped these hills are.
Yeah, rollaways happen a lot on this hole. A lot of players just choose to park it up next to the rock and just approach. Looks like that's exactly what Hemi's decided to do here.
Oh man, perfectly played there with, I believe it's a Steak Stingray.
Yeah. He'll have an easy up just to the basket. Could potentially run it, or just a lay up underneath, has the choice. Here's Paul, looks like he's, hyzed it a little bit early. Missed the Mando, and cause some disruption to the next card. He'll have to go to the drop zone, unfortunately.
Now, I believe this is Mikey's Rock 3. Again, being a bit aggressive here, trying to place through that gap. Not too far here, so it really is an attackable hole.
And he's put that on an absolute line, just making the hill and skipping right up to the basket.
And that's a skip you can expect to see from these overstable discs.
And you've...
Now, I'm not going to lie, I was trying to be a bit aggressive there. I have parked it in practice. So hitting those early trees, getting quite fortunate with that roll, just settling down there.
Very fortunate to settle. We've got a nice little approach here.
And probably about 25 meters out. So still early rounds.
Bit of a run.
Bit of a half run there. So you've got to be careful of that OB long.
Here's the drop zone. It is attackable, but you really have to give it a lot of height. Just this slope is really tricky to get the power on the disc that you require.
Not to mention, at this point in the round, there was a bit of wind, so really being careful of not having those discs too high.
Hemi's lies just in front of the drop zone.
I believe he was running this 25 meters out.
A bit of a soft bid, but rolls into a good spot. And it looks like we'll have 4 fairly easy tap outs. Now this hole,
Wow. Did not expect to see that after his putting on the past 4 holes.
Yeah, just Hemi dropping that putt, unfortunately. Throwing plenty of chains.
Maybe getting a bit nervous here after how the cards played in the last couple of holes.
Yeah. You gave that putt a bit of heat.
Man, all in for that one. I was not risking any sort of soft shots there.
Well, if you missed, it probably would have gone halfway down into the lake. Marky picking up an excellent birdie. Always a good one to get a stroke on the card.
There we go, Paul Child. Not taking any risks there. Really just reaching in, tapping in for his bogey.
2 unfortunate bogeys. This hole actually averaged 0.5 of a stroke over for the competition, so pretty tricky one. But this one here was the easiest, with an average of 2.5. Quite an easy pitch up, almost a jump putt, 45 metres.
Hole 6, definitely one of the easier holes on the course. I say this is almost in jump putt range for most of the players here. I believe they're just going to play a nice soft backhand shot there.
Excellent touch. It can be a little bit daunting almost. It's that awkward range of approach versus drive versus putt. You can almost do a spike hyzer if you want to.
Man, I can tell you now, I was definitely contemplating jump putting this for the past 4 rounds, but just stuck to my game plan, just playing the soft backhand shot, really trying to put inside the circle.
Using that ground play to just slide it up.
Hemi, to be expected, playing a bit wide left, having this come back.
If you do land on the gravel, can skip a little bit, but settles down.
Okay, nice high shot from Paul, coming back.
Beautiful. Oh, going a little bit long, catches the roots of the tree behind the basket, but everyone's going to be looking at a fairly simple birdie putt inside the circle.
There you go, hitting strong side, taking birdies. That's what we like to see.
Oh.
Man, two holes in a row here. Nervous must be getting to me. I say Mikey only 6 strokes behind here.
Yep, he's got to watch out. Mikey's been putting well the last couple of holes, so Hemi needs to really focus in, get these inside circle putts working his way. Paul with the birdie. I know he's a bit of a Nico LaCastro fan, so I gave him the routine fade there. Not sure. I'm sure he is well within 30 seconds, but that was just a bit of a tribute to Nico there.
Mikey, another birdie. That's 2 strokes gained in the last 6 holes.
Hole 7, par 3, 98 metres. The first hole really in this front 9 that players can flex their muscles and go for a long drive. Slightly awkward tee placement facing away from the basket.
So we did have the option of playing either from the carpet there on the right of the tee pad, or from the tee pad itself. Again, go-to shot for this hole is playing a nice wide right, hyzering back left. But players do need to be aware of that garden bed, which does players out of bounds, only 75 metres out. So really trying to control that skip angle.
Definitely, and the path, of course, on the left as well, so you don't want to drift too far to the left-hand side. Mikey navigating his way through the trees and rolling up very nicely to the basket, probably circle's edge.
Yeah, he's rather close there. I'm sure we're trying to take that birdie. Again, gaining these strokes on Hemi. He did start 7 strokes behind. It already made up 2 so far. I myself, again, trying to play that high height to the right side.
Just a little bit to the right. And, fighting through.
And a bit wide, but I managed to sneak my disc through there, just throwing a star TL.
And it's within range. Quite a few of these Mando trees very close to the tee. I'm not quite sure. I guess you could see a left-hander going around, but...
Definitely playing a bit easier for the right-hand shot there.
Yeah.
I say left-hand's really leaning on, really trusting that left-hand turnover shot. You can see Hemi here trying to use the whole fairway here.
Yep. He's an excellent turnover player.
I believe this is his eye-dyed leopard here, but fading out a bit soon.
Yeah.
Pushing towards the tee pad of the following hole.
It's all right though, nice and easy up. The main goal for this drive, I think, is just to get up the fairway.
Just try and keep it clean, just avoid that garden bed, and really just have a nice, easy approach shot from there.
Paul giving it a bit of a run, just not the distance.
Man, that was
excellent line. Yeah.
Foot off there.
Yep. Oh.
So not really one to fall too far behind you on these front 9 holes, being fairly relatively easy.
And another off the cage. Wow. Peppering the basket. Not able to convert, unfortunately, for our lead card here.
Yeah, I'll tap out my par here. Just again, just trying to keep it as clean as possible. Really trying to avoid these bogeys on these holes.
This one also averaged over par by 0.5 of a stroke. So
Normally, I'm not too worried.
Mikey obviously a little bit worried that these chains aren't catching discs too well, which is fair enough.
Not want to take any
No.
risks here.
On to hole 8, par 3, 66 metres. It definitely feels a lot longer than 66 metres with those trees in the way of the green and the low branches.
Pretty daunting high ceiling there. So your go-to shot here, really just straight down the middle, controlling that speed, having it finish left. I believe some of the right-hand players were pushing it out wide, but you do got to be careful of skipping all the way down the hill there.
Yeah, it's another sloping green. A couple of trees in the fairway, but yeah, just got to thread the needle and make it down to the green.
So Mikey, you?
Ooh. Yeah, just collecting a few of those branches, which can be tricky.
I'm really not sure if that was a good or bad hit there, as you can hear.
It's alright, you should have a fairly easy approach.
So I myself was leaning more towards the straight gap there, so not trying to play it too wide.
Just catching one of the thin trees right in the middle of the fairway.
And there was a foot left or right, so that would have been a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
You got Paul getting it nice and wide, missing the tree.
Just catching one of those first guardians, but filtering a little bit down.
And I believe they'll put him at circle's edge for Botha birdie.
Definitely got a look.
Hemi, I believe, is throwing his DX Stingray, so it really is new to see that to the bag as of recent for his nice turnover shots.
And has kept that really nice and low, and just shaving the grass, and that is a beautiful shot.
Great ground play there for Hemi.
Wonderful. See on the Deep Creek replay, this thing is on a rope. Just skipping the grass and filtering down to the basket. I reckon if you drew a line from the tee pad to the basket, that's what it's just going on. That was beautiful. You got a forehand kind of straddle out, just to...
There's a bit of a tricky gap there.
Yeah.
So a bit tight throwing on the left side of that tree there, so we're just trying to get to the gap and give myself a look to say par here.
Fortunate to filter over that tree root, because otherwise you would have had a fairly obstructed putt. Mikey from the knee. He'll be running this, I reckon. Oh no.
Low ceiling, so just laying up there with the Sonic. Here I am, probably just outside the circle here.
It's a scary putt. Ooh, yeah.
So commitment was there, but it's a bit wide right there. Leaving, again, probably edge of the circle here to save my bogey.
Yeah, nice save.
So Paul here, edge of the circle.
Online, unfortunately not the height. It's just so tough to commit to those downhill putts.
Man, with that OB Lake in the background there, it really is a make or break kind of putt there.
Mikey with the par. And the competition as to who's going to get their putt in first. Hemi picking up the excellent birdie there. Hole 9, par 3, 85 metres, heading into the forest. This is one that you really want to get a bit of distance on because the turn into the green is deceptively longer than you expect.
Again, another easy hole for your right-hand players, just playing an overstable disc straight to the gap and having it fade in. Really just settling quite nicely the basket, getting some good tree love here.
Yeah, definitely easy to draw some trees on this hole. And this was the hole where the wind started to pick up in our final round, so watch out.
Man, good looking turnover there, just hitting a tree inside the circle. They'll put him about 11 metres out to for birdie.
Marky keeping it nice and wide, just clipping that tiny little kind of brush tree that's on the right of the fairway, but
Man, really slowing his depth.
slows it down, but he's still got an approach.
You have a look from there.
Yep.
Paul Child, I believe, throwing an MD3 here. Not getting as wise as like.
Nah, just catching a rock and unfortunately bouncing backwards a little bit.
I believe that'll give him a nice, easy approach from there. Fairly open fairway. Myself, again, trying to correct on these shots. Get it right through the gap, but again, getting that unfortunate tree kick.
He'll be right there by Mikey. So So our lead card struggling a little bit. No one getting through to the green. And here we can see the wind.
Man, gale force winds here, really making it hard on what just to throw for these approach shots. Try not to give it too much height.
Yeah, and already wreaking havoc.
Man,
Really picked up literally as soon as we left the tee, approaching these lies. It just...
And these next couple holes are very wooded, so it's not going to make them any easier as they're...
Yeah. I mean, you would expect a wooded course to be more sheltered from the wind, but unfortunately Queenstown Gardens, it's coming straight off the lake and coming right into the woods.
And I myself here was double guessing to throwing a peg or to even throw a destroyer, but kind of leaned on this Firebird here. Throwing it a bit low, getting some good skip, but
Yeah.
man, even from 6 meters, this is a scary putt.
Yeah, definitely the kind of hole that you want to get as close to the basket as fast as possible. Mikey's almost getting blown away. Putting it high, and the wind just lifts it immediately, and it almost blows back into the basket.
And stalling out right there. I'm sure he'll be happy with that one.
Hamid keeping it nice and low, not messing around. And you do the same?
Man, I myself, I wasn't going to run that par putt. So being so early in the round, anything could happen as soon as you're missing it.
Here we see Paul and Hemi run to their lie to try and get it in the break of the wind. And I think that Paul was a little bit excited there, saw his opportunity, but just rushed his putt and just popped it high and was pretty frustrated. So frustrated that he wanted to do a forward somersault.
So I can tell you now, that putt has just put him outside the circle, really making it that much trickier to try and save his par.
Yeah, very unlucky. And he probably can't feel the wind from behind that rock, so as soon as it comes out, it'll be doing weird things. Draws a tree, unfortunate. And still not a gimme with this wind.
Man, what could have been an easy 3 has definitely turned into quite the frustrating 5.
Can't catch any luck, unfortunate.
Him here in 3 meters. Just trying to tap this out.
Man, par is an excellent result considering the conditions in this hole. Unfortunate triple bogey for Paul, and just the bogey for Mikey and yourself. And that is it for the front 9 of our lead card here, final round at the Queenstown Classic. Boy, Phil, how's the card feeling after that final hole?
Man, walking down to our approach shots, definitely feeling a bit shell-shocked there. Not expecting the wind to pick up as it did. So these middle 7's definitely going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, very difficult conditions. We see Hemi retaining his lead over Mikey. You've jumped up to 3rd position, Phil.
Man, trying to sneak my way up there.
We also have Takashi in 5th, Stephen, Jack and Morgan tied for 6th. Johnny, Matt, Pete and Tom are rounding out our top 12. Well, it's going to be exciting to see what happens in the middle 7.
Really, this is going to be quite unpredictable to see how things turn out.
Yep, weather's coming in, plays really good. We'll see you there.